Big games, big bets, better drinks. You're listening to Happy Hour Playbook, your guide to the winning side of sports and lifestyle. I'm Chris, and we're officially on air. Let's see what's on the slate today. All right. Welcome to the Happy Hour Playbook, episode 6. I'm Chris.
I'm co-host Wes. This is episode 6.
Oh, yeah. Going to get into a couple different things. First, we're going to recap the World Baseball Classic, talk about the finals, how it went down. The big one is the March Madness that's going on right now. And then we're also going to talk about, we both went on spring break trips. I went on to one, and then Wes went on to his spring break trip. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But our first segment we're going to get into is called the Happy Hour Pour, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our drink here, Forty Creek.
Yeah, grabbed a little 40 Creek. I think you can see this pretty much anywhere, any local bar. It's a Canadian whiskey. It's made in Niagara. It is significantly stronger,
Oh, yeah.
sweetness than the ones that we've been doing lately. I guess it's a blended whiskey, so somehow when they make it, they split up. I guess it's the whiskey. They do one in rye, one with corn, and one with barley, and then they blend them together, and that's what brings this bottle to us today.
It's got, I don't know if you picked, I grew up eating a lot of pecans. My grandma had a pecan tree.
I can see the pecan. Yep.
Oh my gosh,
that is actually very accurate.
It's got a very pecan ending. It doesn't taste bad. It tastes really, really good.
No, it's not bad at all. It's just a little bit more blunt than the other ones that we've done lately that were quite a bit more smoother.
Oh yeah, it kicks you in the mouth when you first get it, but it's very smooth at the end.
For the price point, it's $20. So I mean, that's kind of what you're dealing with. This is probably more something that's used to mix drinks than it is to drink straight. But
it tastes really good. It has a good I think that lingering pecan.
That pecan is very accurate. I don't see it anywhere on the description or anything, but it tastes a lot like pecan.
It's really, really good, that aftertaste. It kind of just I was tasting it.
I can smell it now that you said it. It's like I think of like a pecan pie.
Yeah.
It's exactly kind of that. Hey, those are good as hell too. But anyways, you can find this pretty much anywhere for about $20. I think a lot of places use it for mixing drinks because it's so cheap. So,
I'd have that in the rotation.
Not terrible. Not terrible.
Yeah, I'd definitely put that as playoff worthy because I think I could see that in an old fashioned or if you just have a bunch of people over and you want to mix it with some stuff. It tastes really, really good.
Yeah, it's not bad now that I've had a few sips of it. It's definitely smoothed out quite a bit, but that first one was like, oh,
yeah,
I don't know what I got into there for a second. Then I was trying to figure out that flavor, and then you mentioned the pecan. It's like that makes perfect sense now.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna get into our first segment, which it's crazy. I was out of town, so I didn't get to actually watch the game. But wow, Venezuela had a tough road.
Yeah, they had the worst road to the playoffs
to get to there, and they beat Italy, they beat Japan,
they beat us,
and then they beat the U.S. But to get there, in that last pitch, I watched the highlights of the game, and I was like, wow, that'd be a good game to be at to watch. But for Venezuela to come out, it was tied 2-2. Then,
for the longest time, it was 2-0. I mean, our pitcher came out, McLean. He did much better than he did in that first round that he had against Italy. He pitched well. I mean, he kept them in the game.
Yeah.
Then our bullpen was pretty solid up until so in the 8th inning it was 2-0.
Bryce Harper.
Yeah. So our roster, we hadn't hit the ball hard or anything. We hadn't done anything right offensively the entire game, which is crazy with our offense.
Oh yeah.
When you see the names, but they were cold, and then. But then Bryce Harper hit the 2-run home run to tie the game in the 8th, which was huge. I mean, everybody's going nuts in the stands. It was a great moment. It reminds me of the last time we beat Venezuela. They hit a home run to go ahead late in the game, and we ended up coming back in the 9th inning and walking them off, which is very similar to what they did to us. We got into some pitching trouble in that 9th inning. We walked a few people and then gave up a double. Which was the emotions and stuff of these players.
That's what I was getting.
They definitely love representing their country. I think that's been a criticism for the United States teams over the years. They haven't really they don't exceed that emotion that these other,
the pride, the country,
Central American countries do. And, I thought we have kind of improved on that quite a bit. We've had more of our big name players come out and play. I thought, I think we had the better lineup when it came down to measurements as far as on paper, but they hit the ball and we didn't. And, they hit it when they needed to. I mean, when you get a walk and a base stolen and then all of a sudden a double puts you ahead to win the game. And then the reliever, he's one strike away from winning a title for his country, and he's crying before he even throws the pitch. It's pretty moving. I thought it was a great game. I like a tight baseball game. I don't like it being a blowout either way.
Especially for finals. I think it was great to see that.
But, I wish we'd have been a little bit more pressure on them other than just the last inning of finally getting some runs. But it was great. It was awesome. Venezuela deserved it. They've got a great lineup, too. You're talking about what's his name? Acuna. You're talking about William Contreras, Salvador Perez, who's been a long time veteran. Luis Arias, I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but he's the guy that's been winning basically the batting title the last couple of years. He doesn't hit much more than singles, but he hits the ball. And Michael Garcia, he's the one that took home the MVP. Yep. I think he batted over 350 and had 10 plus hits.
385, average 10 hits.
And their pitching staff was solid. They didn't make mistakes, and if they did, we missed them.
And I think too, when you watch these games and you see like a late dry, when U.S. came in the 8th and it's pushing,
push
like
back.
that definitely sometimes will affect the other team in a sense where it's like, well, either I'm going to try to rush and make mistakes, or the pitching staff gets in there and they give up a couple of runs more. But to watch them stay consistent, pitching staff come in, close out the game, it was good. Like I said, I didn't watch the full game. I watched the highlights, but it was a great game.
It was great. Ronald Acuna, he's an MVP candidate whenever he's healthy. So Venezuela had some players. Jackson Churio is one of the new young stars that's coming up in the MLB right now. If you have any of his cards, I'd like to buy them from you. He's great. He's
making deals.
They have a lot of talent. And they made the right moves, and it is one of those things. It worked out for them.
All right, now we're gonna get into this madness, which is crazy. A lot's changed.
So much fun.
A lot's changed in a short amount of time, a couple of days. So we'll start with the first 32 because those were kind of the games that kind of started everything.
You got to start at the 64.
Well, yeah, we can do the 64.
Because I was nervous on Thursday.
Man,
I've been building up these Duke Blue Devils for weeks, and
it was close. That game was very, very close.
It was way closer than it even shows.
Yep. And it was crazy because you look at it and down 13 points to the number 16.
Yep, Siena.
And then Boozer.
No idea where they're from.
Yeah, and Boozer came in, ended up putting up 22 points, 13 rebounds. I think he had one block shot. And I think he had a couple of assists, 2 or 3 assists. I can't remember off the top of my head.
He is a superstar. He's going to be a top 5 pick in the draft. He did what he had to do.
But it's one of those moments.
It was just crazy. So, and another little thing that's not talked about, and most people don't even know about, that Siena team, their starting 5 played the entire game. They did not have a substitution until the 30-second mark.
I did see that.
In the second half when a guy fouled out. That was the only time that they substituted the entire game.
Yeah, it was.
So those guys played their butts
They showed the statistics, and it was crazy how no subs in the versus Duke. I think at the time when they showed the statistic, it was like 12 or 13 at the time. But to just all out play the whole game, being that close,
it was crazy.
6 points,
and it was neck and neck until the end. And the real people that report on these things, they were saying Siena never looked overmatched. They never looked scared. They never looked tired. He's like, they brought their A game, and man, they almost pulled off a historic upset.
That would have been
Duke
for sure.
Duke did rebound. They played TCU in the second round of 32.
Yep.
Put a pretty good beating on them by 23 points. TCU was pretty close in the first half, but once it got into the second half, Duke pulled away and it was over.
Yeah, then they had the other game, which was interesting. Florida, Prairie View A&M.
I mean, they didn't play anybody, but
to look at the score, 114-55. That's for the defending champs. That's a pretty good statement for the opening round.
I bet their line was probably 40 points, anyways.
You think? I have to look that up.
You have to look that up. But I remember betting on North Carolina that year. They went undefeated with Tyler Hansborough. They were playing somebody in the first round. The line was 35, 40 points. And I was like,
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Dude, we're old. We're old. I think another good one to talk about while you're looking that up is High Point.
Yes.
High Point. We talked about them
a couple of weeks ago. I forgot what the it was plus 35,000, 55,000,
200,000 or something.
It was something ridiculous, but they pulled it off, man.
And I didn't bet on them.
That would have been a good one.
I didn't pick them. That would have been a big pick.
Yeah.
I picked them. But
1 point, 83-82. I think
the kid Chase Johnson, man, if you give him any space, he's shooting the ball and he will make it most times, more than not. And I mean, he led part of the comeback. He's not their leading scorer, but man, that kid can shoot. And he made one from the logo that was 10 feet behind the line. Just stood up and shot the jump shot.
I did see that.
It wasn't a dagger because it was a comeback part at that point.
Yeah.
But then they got the I don't know if it was a steal or a rebound late in the game, and he got the layup. That's his first 2-point field goal made all year, and that was to go ahead of Wisconsin, and they end up pulling it out, which is crazy because Wisconsin's been pretty decent this year. I mean, the Big Ten is very tough, and they were heavily favored, and man, it's fun to see that stuff happen. I wish I would have went with our gut from a few years ago, to really bet on them, but.
I know I talked about Friday, this one. You didn't seem too shocked about it, but was VCU beating North Carolina.
I wasn't shocked. I'm not shocked, but I didn't. For some reason, I didn't go with VCU. I went with UNC. I don't know. They haven't had a great end of the season, and I felt like I should have probably went with VCU on that one. VCU is kind of one of those notorious tournament teams that comes in and plays really hard every year.
Well, watching the game, you see they were down. 19 points, and then ended up coming back,
which is crazy.
Yeah, and it was. It says it was the largest first round comeback in history of the tournament, which had them moving on. Which we see they ended up losing the next round, but
it's all about the small wins, though, for them.
It is.
The small teams, they're just looking to win one time,
and it fucks everything up, and I like it. It's that chaotic, you said.
You think UNC, you think Sweet 16.
Yeah, you're gonna make it there at least to the Sweet 16.
And I mean, right now they are all over this team about their coach leaving. Is this the last time that they, see him on the sideline? And he's been there forever. Since Roy Williams retired.
Williams. Yeah, I haven't heard that name in a while, too.
Stay tuned. We're still old. But I wasn't really surprised, but I don't know why I didn't go. I normally don't. I wouldn't have thought I'd have given them much favor this year. So I'm not sure why I didn't bet on VCU. But, yeah, I mean, I think the comeback part is awesome. College basketball, especially tournament time, is all about runs. So, obviously, they went on
Who's hot?
They went on a historic run, and then their defense, basically, from what I can see, is they just kind of adjusted to the pick and roll scheme that UNC was using, and stopped them from using it anymore, and held them without scoring for over 7 minutes, and that's what enabled them to come back. And then their pace of play was just crucial to keeping the game, going and keeping them involved.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even here in the notes when you put. The Heel Jr., 34 points, 7 3-pointers.
From the bench.
It's crazy, man.
He was hot. Seven threes, man. I mean,
that's a lot.
What was that school, the small school that came out of California, had looked like a 35-year-old man playing on their team, just some old white dude, and he was just lighting it up. He had I forget, they had a big first round or 2 rounds of upsets. This was recent.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he was just hot. I mean, you come in hot, you're going to do well.
Oh, yeah. You got to have that confidence. You just have that. And I'm not a professional basketball player by any means, but
I'm very surprised.
Yeah. But you watch these people that get hot and it's just the shots are going down, and you're just like, this dude's unstoppable.
ridiculous.
Like at the beginning of the NBA season, Gordon, what's his name? Denver, Aaron Gordon, was hot. I forgot how many 3-pointers he hit. Next game, he hit like 2, but like it's just that.
He's
that
more of a
rhythm.
role player, but once in the NBA, once you get hot, people just keep feeding you the ball. Yeah. But speaking of somebody's hot, I want you to talk to me about this Michigan team.
Oh my gosh,
Michigan look legit.
Yeah, so they came in. They were the first Sweet 16 team. That was a Saturday. They won. It was 95-72. They beat St. Louis.
Larry Nerd.
But it's crazy how good of a team that is. Just coming in, they're consistent. You look at the team that they played, and you're like, okay, is it unforeseeable that they were not going to win? No, they were going to win that game. But
I kind of look at it like when I watched Duke play. Duke didn't have any confidence. They didn't have any kind of rhythm.
No,
Michigan came in hot. They came in like, this
focused.
Is your little brother. Yes. I'm going to show you where you belong. I mean, they have so many highlight dunks, and I mean, their team is just legitimately. To me, they're the new number 1 overall if they would reseed them. I still think, I mean, Duke's beat them this year, so they are beatable, but man, they look tough right now. Avila from St. Louis, who I call, or some other people call him Larry Nerd, big time player, was totally ineffective against them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's the last time he may be playing college ball. He's probably going to get a chance somewhere else, but I mean, they left no doubt.
Well, they just came in there focused. They stayed. It's like the task at hand. You know, your coach talks to you. They're like, all right, this is the goal, and we're here. And he probably had a great speech to start the tournament. And you know, they just look focused. They look like they know what they're doing.
No, for sure. I agree.
They're going to stay competitive. And I think now they're playing the next round. They have Alabama, which Alabama had a great game against Tech.
Oh my God. They destroyed Texas Tech last night. Yeah. It wasn't even close. They never looked back. They were up 20 points and like still 4 or 5 minutes left.
So I think that's going to be a good game. You got Big Ten versus SEC.
We have a few things to look forward to this week at the bottom, and that's one of the games that I'm recommending everybody watch.
Game of the week.
Not game of the week, not game of
one
the
of
week,
them.
but it's definitely up there.
So I mentioned this team when on Friday when we talked, and I'm very surprised at what this team has done. It's Texas.
Oh my God, who isn't surprised?
So
they had a buzzer beater to get into the tournament.
Yes.
In the playing game.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they stomp BYU and then stomp Gonzaga. Like,
yes, I'm like,
Vegas is losing their mind right now.
Yeah, I'm like, Texas, like, wow, where did you come from? You know, you come in barely, win by 2 points, and like I said,
at the buzzer,
at the buzzer came in. Then you played probably one of the better Gonzaga teams and beat them 74-68.
Well, I had a lot of hopes for BYU. They have the kid. There's no chance I'm going to pronounce his name correctly, but he's going to be a top 2 pick. I mean, he's averaging like 30 points a game. And I assumed that he would take over that Texas game and obliterate them. And then I thought Gonzaga was weaker. See, I know you're saying that's one of their better teams. I thought they were actually weaker than the last few teams that we've seen come through with Chet and Sabonis and all them. But,
oh yeah, Chet.
I don't know. I felt like BYU was going to put on a little run, and I was wrong.
Yeah, but when we were talking about Cinderella teams, that definitely was not one.
No, I mean, you can't really call it. It's hard to call a blue chip school a Cinderella, but when you had no expectations of them making the tournament, and all of a sudden they're in the Sweet 16, I mean, somebody just secured them a raise.
Yeah, because you're looking at it, and you're like, that's not a.
I mean, the Texas girls are awesome, but
that's kind of norm. But if you look at the men's team, I'm like, I didn't think they were going to go that far. But they did good. I'm like, those are some tough teams to beat. Yeah. You got BYU and then to knock out Gonzaga, which is one of the top basketball teams. So
yeah, basketball is all they do pretty much.
And then our other Texas teams.
A&M had I picked A&M to win that first round. I knew they were going to be a tough team. I mean, they got absolutely destroyed against Houston in the second round.
Houston is good, man.
Yeah, Houston's very good. But I mean, I thought A&M played very good during the year against kind of above average teams. So I had picked them to exceed the first round, which they did. So I was happy with that. I mean, I think I think that was as far as they could go. I mean, when you were in Houston's bracket, I mean,
It's tough.
you start getting further into this tournament, and these are all great teams.
Yeah, and Houston, they play Illinois next, which Illinois just beat VCU was 76-55. But it's crazy as the bracket gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And we'll talk about the Sweet 16, what we got going on now. You have Duke St. John's, which should be
Great game to watch.
Yeah,
you got Coach Calipari is now at St. John's, which if you wonder why they're relevant, it probably has to do with their coach. He's been there. He coached at Kentucky. He won, he's won championships with them.
Who was the other?
Louisville.
Louisville.
Yep.
The dude, remember when he snapped his leg?
Yep.
That game I was watching, it was a great game to watch. But yeah, he's a great coach, legendary coach,
I think
Hall of Fame coach.
I have that one as one of our games of the week.
That's going to be a great game to watch for
Yeah,
sure.
that's on Friday though. So, but
Michigan State, UConn.
I'm not worried. I'm not into that one.
Then we have.
I hope UConn loses because I really hate for them to come out of nowhere and win this tournament again. They do it all the time.
Then we have Arizona and Arkansas.
Okay, so I think this is one of the watches of the week. Arkansas has been playing lights out, and they played a very tough SEC schedule. And we can talk about the different conferences and stuff. I think the Big Ten's probably the toughest right now as far as
teams
as far as basketball goes. But SEC's tough. Big 12 with Houston and BYU, and usually Baylor's pretty relevant. They aren't this year, and then you've got Arizona now in the Big 12.
Yep.
I mean, and they've been legit all year. So I think them versus Arkansas is going to be a great game. It's probably going to be a nail biter.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got Illinois versus Houston. I think this is Houston's statement beating the Big Ten team. But those are on Thursday night for the Sweet 16.
And then we have Texas Purdue.
I mean, watch it if you want to. I mean, it wasn't what I was expecting.
Hopefully it's a close game. Those close games are nice because when it comes down to the fourth quarter, the basketball can turn 30 seconds into fucking 20 minutes.
I mean, Purdue's tough. Purdue's very tough. I mean, they've got some bigs. I don't know how well they're going to match up. I would assume Texas is probably more athletically built than they are, but basketball's basketball. If the ball don't go in, it don't matter.
Yeah. And then we said Michigan, Alabama. We have Iowa State, and Tennessee.
Iowa State should run that one out of the building.
And then we had, that was a good game they played too against Kentucky. And then we had the last one is Nebraska versus Iowa, which Iowa we were watching just not too long ago.
Yeah,
about
last night. In fact,
Iowa versus Florida, that was a close one.
What a game!
73-72.
Florida's leading this game almost the entire time, and somehow Iowa creeps back within 1 point. No. Yeah, I think it was within 1 point. And Florida played very aggressive on the press once I was trying to inbound the ball. Iowa breaks the press almost immediately and is in a fast break. What you get in a fast break that you want, penetration with a kick, wide open three.
Yep.
The net barely moved. Barely moved. And then I didn't like Florida's inbound play. They had basically the same situation. They had like 4 or 5 seconds to get the ball down. I think it's 4.5 to get the ball the length of the court and get a shot up to try to tie the game. And, the point guard just lasered all the way down the court, but he got so far under the goal, he was going to try to kick it back out. But then the time was already out. It didn't matter if somebody would have caught it clean. Nobody, obviously it wasn't caught clean, and they just fumbled on the basket and the time ran out. But even if they would have had time to catch it clean, there was no time to get off the shot. I didn't like that. I feel like they should have spread the floor once they got down and tried a contested shot. I mean, a contested shot is better than no shot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was painful to watch, but a lot of people in my brackets picked Florida, so good riddance.
Yeah, they're done. So we have we're gonna give our little prediction for our Elite Eight teams. I'm gonna let Wes start off with his. We'll do the first top brackets. You got it. You want to look at this one?
Hold on, I got you. Yeah, just let me look at that.
Yeah.
All right, I got Duke, obviously, Homer, and then I'm gonna go Michigan State. Tom Izzo is a magician, so I'm assuming that Duke's gonna be seeing Michigan State in the Elite Eight. And then I'm going to go Arkansas over Arizona, which I don't think that's who I picked in my bracket, but Arkansas is playing good right now. So I like them. Purdue's going to beat Texas. And then Michigan's going to pulverize Alabama. I would like to say that it's going to be close, but Alabama has been playing above what they should be playing. They're missing their star player who got arrested right before the tournament. They do have another star who's very good, but I think Michigan eliminates them here. Iowa State, I think, beats Tennessee pretty handily. Houston, I think, is going to win a close game over Illinois, and I think Iowa's going to beat Nebraska.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
I don't know if it's going to be a good one, but that's who I'm picking. Nebraska this year is the first time they've ever won a tournament game, so they have 2 wins now in their lifetime as a basketball powerhouse.
All right. Let's see if this is going to be some controversy here. So Duke, St. John's. I know I picked Duke, but I'm going to go St. John's, Michigan State.
You want to put money on it?
We probably could.
Okay.
I just think once you get rattled a little bit, it's good coaching makes a big difference. And I think going up against a team like St. John's, I think we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I think it's going to be a good game. I got Arizona, and I'm going to throw this one out there and say Texas wins. Then I'm going to get Michigan, Iowa State, and then I'll do say Houston and Iowa.
I'm telling you, Iowa's got a pretty decent team.
Yeah, they look good.
They played Florida, tooth and nail the whole time, and Florida's not a bad team. Like we talked about them, they're defending champs, but we talked about them being, sleeper because they were, ranked high all year, number 5, I think, number 5 or number 4 all year.
So I watched that game where they played Prairie View A&M, and it was crazy how everyone on the bench is. It's not, and I kind of get upset when I see this. It's like, dude, it's the first round. Like, I know you're excited. Everyone's scoring. Everyone's high-fiving. But it's like, it's the first round you were expected to win.
Yes.
Let's focus, not saying look ahead, never look ahead on a team. But, like, you were expected to win, and you pretty much pulverized them. So I'm like, let's chill out. Everybody stay focused and get ready for the next team, which...
Daddy, chill.
which shows... that close game that they played right there with Florida in Iowa, and Iowa ended up coming beating them right at the end. So
it's basketball, so anything can happen. Whoever shots fall is who's going to win. It doesn't matter how many people go to your school. It doesn't matter, how many championships you've had in the past. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, it comes down to who makes the shots.
Yeah, every year is different. You have that lineage. You see these teams like North Carolina. You have Gonzaga. You have St. Mary. You see these basketball teams, they're, you constantly hear in the tournament being great with the lineage that they have, but it doesn't matter. Every year the tournament happens, and I do like the format of the tournament. It puts you up against teams you normally wouldn't play, and for your team to come out that's no one knows or is a Cinderella team or a sleeper team to come out and just perform like they did, these teams did, and it looks really cool.
So I do have 2 points. One point being is NIL going to make the Cinderella go away? There's a big discussion about that.
I did see a story on that.
Yeah, there's a big discussion right now if the field is becoming
level.
Well, it's more level, I think, at the blue blood level. I think. Oh, it's more
because
level.
Everyone's moving around. There's more money flowing, but I don't know how they do the NIL money. Like, how is that determined? Do they have a budget, or is it just the alumni? Or
some schools have a budget. Some schools have a printing press.
Yeah,
Texas and Texas A&M have a printing press.
So I don't see how that.
BYU probably doesn't, but then they got this player that's going to be a number 1, number 2 overall pick to come play for them. They paid for him, and that's what made them relevant this year. Otherwise, they haven't really had much relevancy in the past years.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think you're still going to have your high points. I still think you're going to have.
You have to. It makes it interesting.
VCU's not paying players, millions of dollars.
No.
Some of these schools, I think you're going to still see them. Siena, I kind of wish they'd have won the game just so we could see how far they could go. But
yeah,
I'm glad they didn't, because that would have screwed up all my brackets. But my second point that I want to talk about is, damn it, I forgot it. It was NIL. What was I going to say? Okay, fuck it. Never mind.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into a little bit of the MLB, which is starting up here. Netflix.
Wednesday.
Yep. It's all on Netflix. If you click on it, it's the first ad that pops up.
Yep.
It's got Judge on there, and it's got a little logo of who they're playing. Literally, his head
The
is
Giants.
like this big, and it's got the Giants logo like right there in the corner. So they're already promoting who they want to win that game.
Well, I mean, he's the draw. Nobody you couldn't tell me one player on the Giants right now.
Okay.
If I asked you,
This just popped in my head. So, is there an advantage to playing WBC and starting the season, or just going through your normal spring training and starting the season?
so I think for an all-pro, somebody who's a superstar, I don't think it matters. I think they're tuned up year-round. And a lot of times, especially if you watch pitching and spring training and stuff, a lot of times they're not trying to win the spring training game. They're trying to work on one thing. I want to locate my fastball down and in on left-handed pitchers or batters, or I want to bury my curveball in the dirt whenever I want to. Like, they're working on specifics like that. They don't give a shit about what happens in the game, and that's it's hard to get caught up in all the hoopla about my team went 20-5 in spring training. It's like, well, the Kansas City Royals have been winning spring training for years, and they do have one championship to show for it, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, but like it's about, I think the younger players really need that stuff, and they're not going to be getting picked for the World Baseball Classic.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of wish the World Baseball Classic was maybe mid-December so that,
You think more participation would happen from
maybe
players?
I don't know. I mean, because like Tariq Skubal, who was our number 2 pitcher, or he was our number 3 pitcher, which he's legit a number 1 everywhere. He won the Cy Young last year. He left the team because he was worried about if he pitched another game, he wouldn't be ready for opening day.
I can see him worrying about that. Yeah.
Right, and I mean, I don't think these guys are worried about injury. I think that they keep their bodies in such good shape that they're getting treatment year round. They're throwing year round. I mean, so it's more about. I don't think it's a big deal for the pros. I think it's a big deal for the younger guys, which, I mean, they're not getting picked for the World Baseball Classic anyways. But
Yeah.
The more exposure they get in spring training, the more likely they get to take the next step in their careers.
Yeah. I guess since those vacancies are open, you have the big name players playing in that WBC. It probably does give them a little bit better practice in the spring training games, to see coaches can kind of see what these players have, the young players.
It's an emotional setting, so it's you get to feel the vibe of the stadium and stuff. There's not a huge vibe at spring training.
Baseball is definitely
but like
feed off the crowd, you feed off the energy.
When you go watch, if you go back and look at the Dominican versus the U.S. game, their pitcher came out throwing 100 miles an hour. He doesn't throw 100 miles an hour, but he was amped up because of the situation and what it was. And I mean, he was unhittable for about 2 or 3 innings. But I mean, it's different. I think everybody has a different mindset too. Aaron Judge, I don't think he's going to be hurt by playing in it or not playing in it.
No.
Somebody who's just taking that step into the pros, Roman Anthony, probably going to struggle a little bit. I mean, they always say pitchers have the upper hand early in the year because their arms are fresh and the batter's eye isn't adjusted yet. Because, I mean, these guys are throwing 100 miles.
You're right, because later as the season goes on, they get kind of the matchups.
You'll see it evens out a little bit. So I don't know if the World Baseball Classic does anything to any of that, but I remember my point for the NCAA. I don't think it matters, is what I'm going to say.
Okay.
My other point that I forgot about earlier is the NCAA tournament is the best structure for the college football playoff. You have your teams selected. You select your best 10 teams, top 10 teams get in.
Yep.
However they figure it out, whether it's championship, whatever.
Conference championships or whatnot.
And then you grant 2
FBS teams.
Whoever,
okay,
your George Masons, your whatever you want, because that's who made it this year.
Yeah.
And they play 2 bubble teams,
okay,
to get in.
I like that idea.
So it's the play-in game that the NCAA tournament uses, but we're going to use it for football. So it's a 2 play-in game situation. You're granting 2 teams that are not Power 5.
So you don't have an opportunity. The Notre Dame fans complaining.
Well, I mean, Notre Dame would have to smash them in the play-in
they
game.
would have to play. I like that because
Texas or Vanderbilt would have to smash that team in the playoff game. I mean, and then they get to play. So they have to play an extra game, which is going to be harder.
So only 2 bubble teams versus 2. I don't want to say
2
FBS,
bubble teams,
just
2 bubble teams versus the group of whatever.
Yeah,
whatever they call them.
Smaller conference championship, the ones that are barely getting.
But that's been I've actually said this a couple of years ago. That's what they should be doing, because it eliminates that. Oh, Notre Dame is not going to play in a bowl game this year because they got duped. You know, Notre Dame, you get to play this team, and if you win, you get to keep going.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that encourages, not only it still gives the lower schools, smaller schools, an opportunity to be in it, but it also gives the bubble teams who are in question an ability to silence the question.
No, I think it's a good idea, because then there's no question. If you lost, you come in a Notre Dame and you lose to a James, Madison.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you we weren't that good. We weren't as good as we thought we were.
Right. Or like Texas or Vanderbilt, who were all on the bubble this year. I mean, that gives you an idea of.
I think that's a great idea.
That's what they should do.
I don't know why they would. Well, it gives.
And then I would do away with bye rounds. Everybody plays.
Yeah.
Number 1 plays number 12. Number 2 plays number 11.
So that would basically take place of. Actually, you could probably, for those 2 games, give a week for everyone that's already made it, like their bye week,
right?
And then those 2 teams, those 4, actually it's 4.
I didn't think about that, but
those 4 teams play each other, and
they just don't get a week off.
They don't get a week off if they move on to the next round,
right? No, I think that's exactly right. So your bye week is the week of the playing games, and then obviously number 1 and number 2 are probably not going to know who they're playing, but they have an idea because they have 4 teams.
4 teams to choose from,
and that gives them plenty of time to work up that stuff, because they can work up all the teams the week before, and then when they're decided, they can work up the team the rest of the time.
No,
I think that's what it should be done.
NCAA, you can go and take that.
You heard it here.
You heard it here first. We're gonna
first.
If y'all actually do go with that, you're gonna get sued. So I got the matchup for the first game, which is New York versus the Giants.
Logan Webb won 2 games for us in the World Baseball Classic. He's a good pitcher, sinker baller. He's wanting you to hit into bad situations. Max Fried is tough lefty. He's gonna have just typical left-handed nasty spin. So it should be a good game. The lineup is the difference, in my opinion. I mean, you couldn't name any of these players.
No. I'm looking. I'm like,
Arez just won the championship with Venezuela, but I mean, he's their number 2 hitter, but he's a singles guy.
Yeah. Besides the pitcher, I think.
Yeah. There's not Matt Chapman. He's a veteran. He's a good player, but he's not what he was. Then on the other side, you got Cody Bellinger coming off of like 30 home runs. A young, really good shortstop, Caballero. Jazz Chisholm, he's a veteran.
Yep.
Going to be really good. I don't know their catcher. Paul Goldschmidt's going to be really good. Grisham's good in the outfield. Judge obviously is who he is. And then they're going to be all right.
I think it's going to be a good game to watch.
I think Yankees are going to make a little bit of splash this year. I bet they start off hot, and then I bet they are buying at the trade deadline and add something crazy like some superstar.
They'll figure out some money somehow. Trust me. And then we have Thursday's games, which
Thursday we come out.
Be good.
Yeah, Texas and Philadelphia. That's who I'm going to be watching. We need to ask off for that game.
So I think it's going to be 3:15 our time. I know have it posted at Eastern time, which is 4:15, but that'll be just in time to be able to watch that. That'd be a good game to watch. But yeah, I'm excited, man. Baseball's back. Dude, I love it. It's fun.
A lot of people don't like baseball. If you go watch it now with that new clock, it's so much faster.
It's great.
It cuts out all the bullshit.
And if you've never been to a baseball game, I would highly recommend going with your family. It is a family atmosphere. The fans are good.
Go to the minor league games. I was just telling my wife yesterday.
No, there ain't no covering. It's hot as hell when they play.
Well, I know, but you got to go at different times. But
night game or something.
Our minor league team is very fun to watch. It's very. I mean, we got front row tickets for
the Rough Riders,
like $15. And I mean, the girls, my kids, they were all crazy, having fun. They play lots of games during the innings, and then after the game, they got to run the bases and stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think having, especially Dallas, we have a lot of good minor league and even professional sports.
It's a big metroplex. We got a lot more than the
hockey.
other cities.
There's
do,
minor teams. You've got your semi-pro. You've got soccer. You got indoor soccer. You've got the who's the MLS team for soccer? Shit, my mind went blank. FC Dallas.
FC Dallas. Yeah. They got a nice renovated stadium over there in Frisco now.
Rough Riders.
That's a fun game to go to too, but it's also not covered. And the only time I went was in the middle of summer, and it was hot.
Texas is hot, man. But you know what? I've always talked about people. We go vacation different places, and I go and I'm like, man, it's so nice. I would love to live here. And then they're like, oh, well, our winters are this, or we have horrible, mudslides, and it rains a lot. I'm good. I'm good with the heat. I'm used to it. I'm like, you grown up here your whole life. It kind of, you get used to the temperatures. I'm like, when to be outside and when not to be outside.
Right. I mean, I think it's kind of like somebody that lives up north knows, how to deal with the cold weather and the snow.
Oh, yeah, the snow. I don't know about that, man. All right. Now we're going to move into our next segment, which will be our spring break trip, which was planned for me specifically. I planned this last year, about 6 months ago. So we do a lot of national parks. I think last year we did, I don't know the number. It was like 15 to 17 new ones that we haven't been to.
I want to say it was 17.
Yeah, I think it's 17.
Popping up in my mind.
The previous year we did, I think 11. We did the lower southern, southwestern national parks, and this past time we did northwestern. It's just something we started. We did an RV trip with my parents and my wife's, my mother-in-law. They had never been to these national parks. Growing up, you go on PBS, watch all these shows. It's like the Black Wolf in Yellowstone National Park. And you see all these people out of their cars, taking pictures and doing all that. And I wanted to do something for them. And this is during COVID, which a lot of people got into, was actually being more outdoorsy and doing stuff like that. So we rented an RV, went around Midwest, and we went more western to a couple of national parks that my parents and my mother-in-law wanted to go to. Did that. That was fun. Next 2 years, we did Disney trip. Then we went to Universal. And me and my wife decided that we wanted to get back into the national park thing because it was super fun. So started doing that. Every park we went to, they asked my kids, where'd you go? How many, where are you from? They're like, oh, we're from Texas. Oh, have you been to any of the parks in your state? Which there's two. There's the Guadalupe Mountain National Park and Big Bend. And we're like, no. So we came back from our trip last year. We were gone for 3 weeks and came back over 8,000 miles we drove. Came back, and that was a request per my son, was like, can we go to Big Bend for spring break? And I was like, well, let me look in it. So I look into it, trying to get reservations because that's like the hardest thing to get. You have to wait. So they release them in like spurts, and finally went to go look. I had a campsite, and someone right in the middle of the time that I had picked like a Wednesday to camp there one day. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to look for another way to go ahead and stay there. So we rented a geodome in Trilingua, and my expectations were not that high. You look at the pictures, it's super dry, desert. I'm like, I'll plan it as soon as the time comes. So as soon as the week before the time we leave, I started looking into everything, and we leave, plan some stuff, couple of sightseeing places we wanted to go. It took us about 8.5 hours to get there. We get to our little geodome. It's super cool. It's insulated. It's got, running water, which that's a big thing out there. Also,
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, it has an AC unit, which is big out there.
Do you have a heater?
It did have a heater. I had to find it. It got super cold 2 of the days. I'm talking like below freezing. But if you've never seen any of these geodomes, they are kind of like a golf ball.
Turtle shell.
Yeah, it's like a turtle shell golf ball cut in half, and it's got this one side has all these windows, and on the very top of it, it has an opening so you can see when you're asleep, the night sky, which is super dark out there. So you can see pretty much everything. We get there the first day. It was great. We got there about 5-ish. We went to one of the local pizza spots there, which was really, really good. It's called Long Draw Pizza. And we're sitting there eating, and my wife asked the question. She's like, what brings people to move here?
Nothing.
So I pull out my phone.
Nothing brings them there.
I'm like, Google it. They're like, isolation. People want to be isolated. People want to be off grid. A lot of the people don't want to be
Murderers.
monitored. Yeah, it could be. It could be the murder capital of the world. I don't know, but you can tell the people that are there are super nice. They're to themselves. They have kind of no worry. They're just kind of laid back. All the workers there were super chill. They probably do like some type of, traveling whenever they do the seasonal people to do the canoe trips, people to do snowmobile, hiking trails. Like they're basically taking you on all these little trips throughout the year, different places. But we went there. It was super cool. Food was really, really good. We met the owner. She was super cool. Pizza was reasonably priced. I want to say, I think the pizza was probably like $15 to $17. They had these little personal pizzas that I think they were probably like $8 or $9. They weren't too expensive. The first full day that we went to this, it's called Panther Junction, which is one of the Rangers visitor stations that we went to. And my kids got their junior ranger badges, which all the national parks do. They give you like an activity booklet. Depending on the kids' ages, they have to do so many activities. Once they do those activities, they go back to the counter, they get sworn in, they get these little badges. My kids have a vest that's filled with all these badges from all the national parks they've been to. So from there, my daughter wanted to go it's called Fossil Discovery Exhibit, and shows all the fossils I'm into dinosaurs. Since Jurassic Park, that kind of piqued my interest.
That's our era. So.
And they have all these different bones, Alamosaurus, the sauropod, this huge one that we had at the end of the Jurassic period. They have bones of that. They have, what is the one from Jurassic World, the Mosasaur?
Mosasaur.
They had the bones of that one. They had the pterosaurs, like the flying ones. So they had all those different things we could look at. They had an actual replica skull of a T-Rex, which is
you can buy one of those.
It's crazy because
I thought about doing it.
Dude, it's crazy because I looked at it and I was like, they weren't that big. Head-wise, their head wasn't that big.
Bullshit. They're big.
They're big, but it's not like you look at the movie, it's like, fuck, that's massive. But I always think about that guy on the toilet. And that was probably the best representation of the size of the head, like when he got eaten on the toilet, because my son was inside the T-Rex's head, and I was like, okay, that's pretty accurate on the size. They also had...
That's as far as accuracy as the sizes that they found. They keep finding bigger ones.
Oh yeah,
which is crazy.
So they have the skull of I guess it's the ancestor of like a crocodile. This thing's freaking massive. So about a month ago, Netflix released Steven Spielberg's The Dinosaurs. It's a documentary. It's like a 6-part documentary.
Watched that yet. It's on like the most watch every day.
Yes, so it's really good. I've watched like the first 4 episodes, but it talks about how before dinosaurs there were reptiles, and the biggest ones ruled the planet, like the ancestors of the crocodiles and all those. And then it shows the transition of when the first dinosaur came and kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they ended up taking over most as the dominant species on Earth. But that was really good. We went there, and then we went to this trail, which was a hot springs trail, and it's a popular destination. So what we ended up having to do was park about half a mile away and hike to the actual start of the trailhead. Once we got there, we went the opposite direction. We went against the crowd and went the back way, and ended up right in the Rio Grande, which was super cool. My kids got in there. There's a bunch of people. They had like picnic tables and stuff out there. But they enjoyed that time. And by the time it took us to hike back to the car, my kids' clothes were already dry. That's how hot it was outside. And then after that, we went down this trail. There's like 4 trails. They're like old mining trails. They're for your vehicles. One was called Old Ore Road. It was about 26, almost 27 miles. And it took us probably, I think it says 2 to 4 hours to get down that road. It took me probably 2.5 hours. I was going a little bit faster. But man, you're talking about drop-offs, 2-foot drop-offs. You're talking about falling off like a ledge. Like it was super. It was just the video my wife posted, and my son was like, this Bronco's going to be effed up at the end of this. And it was fun. We had some pinstriping on the car. But it was all fun and games. We're doing that. You know, my kids like doing stuff like that, just kind of going off the beaten path. Then day 2, we got woke up and we went back to it's called a trail. It's called Mule Ears, and that's on the way to the Santa Elena Canyon, which is, I think it's north of Chihuahua, Mexico. And it's super cool, beautiful greenery. You have the Rio Grande running through there. We hiked up there. We saw all the foliage, and then you had the invasive species that have these giant canes that are like 8 foot tall. We hiked up there, which was super nice. My kids liked it. And we also went, when we finished hiking, you know, we were tired. So we went to this restaurant there. It was called Venga, which is weird. It's this huge restaurant from the outside. It looks like it's almost just a concrete building. And it's got outdoor seating, all this. You walk in and it looked like a bookstore. Like it had seating, and it had just a massive inventory of like hiking gear and hats and things you can buy. And then it had a little small area that looked like the Starbucks counter. You can buy drinks and stuff and bring it up to the counter. And we ordered some food, which I think my wife and my daughter had paninis. My son had a burger, and I had a burrito, which was really good. And then from there, day 3, we went to Chisos Basin, which is about 6,500 in elevation. So it was pretty high. Had like a forest. When we got back to the window view trail, we hiked that, and the guy's like, "Did y'all see any deer?" I'm like, "No," but they have black bear signs, mountain lion signs, because all those animals can pretty much live in that higher elevation because there's more trees.
You saw some Aldad though, right?
Oh yeah, man, that thing it blended in. We were in the Santa Elena Canyon, and they're like, "Oh, did y'all see that up there?" And you know, I had to get my phone out and zoom in. It was a light brown colored fur, so it kind of blended in with that rock really, really well. But yeah, we saw a couple of. I saw some. Was it javelina? Is that what it's called?
Javelina. The
little pigs. I saw a donkey just randomly on the side of the road. Road runners. Saw a bunch of birds, different species. One of the visitor center we went to has a book of all the birds that you could see. We saw that. Was it Aldad? Is that what you said it was called? Yeah. Saw that stuff. My kids. We went back to the Panther Junction to get some more badges for hiking these 2 particular trails that we did. So they got 2 additional badges for doing that trail, those 2 trails. And then this is the end of our last full day. We ended up eating at this food truck. It's called El Gordo food truck, which was really good. I ended up getting a burger. I think my son got a burger, and my wife had some tacos, and then my daughter had a grilled cheese, which was really good. It's kind of right outside of the entrance of Terlingua. It's right there. It was very packed. A lot of people there. Which is weird. All the main places to eat in Terlingua are closed on Tuesdays. I don't know. Everywhere was closed except that food truck. But the food was good. Had a good time there. Definitely going to go back. Probably not in the summertime, but definitely a place I want to go back to. My kids had a blast. My wife had a blast. I had a blast. I want to call it the hidden gem of Texas because it's got a little bit of everything: desert, forest. You got your beachy, sandy, silty riverways. One of our good friends, Brian, goes every year with his mom, and they do a canoe trip down there. So he's always telling us about how fun it is. And I talked to him on Friday when we got back and confirmed it. It's a beautiful place, man. It was so much fun. My kids had a great time, and I did too. But we're going to go ahead and get into Mr. West here. He got to go to
How long was your drive?
It was about 8.5 hours. 600 from my house. It was exactly 600 miles to our little geodome that we were in. So it wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be longer because when we were planning it, if you put it into Google around this time, about 3 or 4, it's horrible. It's all red, and it told me like 10 hours and 30 minutes. But we left on a Saturday morning, and it was super chill. So, but we're gonna get in West. West got to go to Broken Bow, which, if you don't know, Texas, we call it our little oasis away from home. Broken Bow is super cool.
It's very nice. It's only about 2 hours and 50 minutes from here if there's no traffic, which on I-30 there's never no traffic. So it took us about 3 hours to get there the first day. We left Wednesday morning. We just had a short trip because we had other plans this weekend. So we were there. We got there Wednesday, stayed Wednesday night, Thursday night, came back home Friday. Broken Bow, I mean, I could live there. I was telling my wife this whole time, every time I saw a house for sale, I was like, man, I could do it. I don't even know what they have for work there as far as hospitals or what, but we could figure it out. I mean, it's beautiful. It's so different than, first off, the rest of Oklahoma and and most of Texas. I mean, it's elevation changes. It's beautiful scenery, wildlife. I mean, it's
Mobile Homa.
That's west of Broken Bow.
No, it's a beautiful place. These cabins are like,
oh man, they're nice. I mean, we stayed in a mobile home actually. It was a double wide that was on a. It didn't even know it was a double wide at first, but it was just placed on a slab. It was very nice on the inside, comfortable enough. We had it was me, my wife, and 5 other kids, and one of those is not mine, but he came along with us, and we got there. We got last few little things from in town, and then went out to the cabin to check in. They were still cleaning it, so we just kind of hung out for a second. I was very anxious to get some hiking in because I just love being in the outdoors. And once we got all our stuff packed inside and all our cold stuff in the fridge, we went to the Friends Trail, which is in the state park, Beavers Bend State Park.
Do you have to pay to get in there?
You have to pay to park.
Okay.
You have to pay to park. You don't have to pay to get in.
That's nice.
And it's cheaper to do. Like I did a 3-day pass. So
Okay.
like it was like $18, I think.
Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. And I mean, we were planning on doing other things in the park, so I wanted to make sure we were covered. But so we pulled up. I got all the kids got out. We all, it's called the Friends Trail. We did this. Me and my oldest, and so Lily's my oldest, and Landry, she's our third child. She did it when she was 2.5, and I think Lily was.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Lily was maybe 10 or 11, and so me and them two did it a long time ago, back in 2020. My wife was pregnant with Macy at the time, so she didn't do it. And then so we got recreated some of the pictures that we had taken and stuff, and this is Macy's first time out there. And so we did this whole trail, and man, it was much harder than it was in 2020. And I don't know if it's because I was carrying a backpack with all the waters and stuff in it this time, or
dad duties.
Oh man, and Macy and Landry are totally different people. Macy required lots of hands-on help to get up and down this mountain, and Landry never did. So it is different, but we all had a great time. The trail goes up the mountain. There's 2 trails. They all go to the same spot, but one goes directly up the mountain and down the backside, and you get down to the river that runs through the state park, and it's beautiful, crystal clear. We saw trout jumping out of it and stuff. There was lots of people fly fishing, which I've heard it's very hard fishing because they see so much fishing. They're kind of, they're just kind of beaten down. It's a little bit different than it used to be. Used to be they dump like every 2 weeks a whole bunch of trout, like thousands of trout, and you could go in there and catch you some or whatever. But I know my dad's been up there multiple times, and he always tries, and it's just very hard. And for that guy not to be able to catch fish is a pretty big deal.
Oh yeah, your dad loves fishing.
Oh yeah. So we did the trail, got all the way down on the other side, took some pictures, by the water, and then the other trail that you can take basically goes around the mountain, but it's just kind of on the side of the mountain where you could slide into the water. But we did it without any incidents, thank goodness.
No one fell.
No one fell. Made it back to the car, went back to the cabin, cooked, hamburgers, hot dogs, pretty simple stuff. Then we went to an ice cream shop, the Okie Girls, I think. Okie Girls Coffee and Ice Cream. They didn't have any flavors. They ran out of ice cream, apparently. They didn't have any chocolate. And so we kind of had to venture out off of our comfort zones and get some, flavors.
Flavors.
That we weren't used to. And, man, it was delicious. I got a pecan and pralines and cream milkshake, and it was delicious, but it wasn't worth the $12 that I paid for it. And you add 4 or 5 of those together, it starts to add up a little bit, but it was good. Went back to the house. Kids stayed up late, had a good time. Next morning, I got up. I had to run back into town because apparently I forgot to pack underwear and socks for this trip. So I had to run into town and get that, I guess. Thank God there was a town.
Commando.
Yeah, no, I wasn't about to be chafing all over that place. So went and did that. I got back. I was back by like 8:30, I think, and still not a soul moving in that house. Everybody's sleeping good. So I just sat on the porch, and man, it was crisp and cool, and man, just being up in the elevation is just so much nicer. And I think somebody finally woke up about noon. I should have went. There was so that first hike we did was a moderate on the scale of hiking. It was 1.5 miles, 1.4, 1.5 miles.
Oh, nice.
And so the one I wanted to do is like 5 or 6 miles, and it's considered hard. So I didn't want to take the girls on that because they're still young, but I should have done it that morning. I was planning on doing it Friday morning, but we had to be out of there at 11, and apparently it takes like 4 or 5 hours to do that hike. So I didn't want to make my wife have to clean up everything on her own and all that kind of stuff. But
no, you would have heard about it.
Yeah, for sure. So I should have done it Thursday morning when everybody was sleeping because I could have got it done. Nobody would have cared. We went and did some kayaking in the river. I jumped off a cliff, which it took me a while to come down off of that thing, man. I got up there. I was thinking this was not going to be a big deal, and I looked over the edge, and I was like, I don't think I can do this.
They should have gave you a microphone because we watched the video, and we were just waiting for him to jump. But I would have loved to hear him up there talking.
I was like, I can see the rocks. Like, it's crystal clear. I can see the bottom. I'm going to hit the bottom. And 2 freaking teenagers came up there and jumped off. So I was like, I got to jump off now. So I jumped off. And
yeah, you don't want to do the walk of shame walking away.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could get back down.
Like, I mean, I gotta do it.
It was a questionable getting up there. Like, you're just holding on to the side of this cliff. Like, man, what kind of idiot 40-year-old does this? But anyways, after many a boos from the crowd and my children, I jumped off. And
which was funny because your wife said that I guess that one of the ladies in the crowd
was talking shit the whole
thought you
time.
were she was talking shit, but she thought you were a kid.
No, the kids that jumped with me, their mom thought I was a kid.
Oh,
so they were like, she was sending them up there to help me, thinking I was some kind of 18-year-old kid that's scared to jump. No, I'm a 40-year-old that's scared to jump because I know what happens if I hit the bottom. But no, some lady was out there talking shit, saying to her, I guess, I don't know, her grandkids or whatever, that this is why you don't make dumb decisions.
Yep. Using him as an example.
Yeah, whatever. Water was amazing, man. It was so cold. And you jump in, once you get out, you just feel like a different person.
I don't know if this is true, but wasn't that like a quarry of some sort that they filled with water?
I don't know. The lake is beautiful. We didn't go to the lake.
It's very quiet.
I mean, it's crystal clear. I mean, it's 90 feet when you jump. We've launched boats off of their dock several times for one of their, I don't know what you call it, public pier or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's 90 feet deep right there.
It's crazy because we would hike and you look at the rock formation and you see these veins running through it of this. I don't know if it's quartz or
there is lots of quartz,
but it's just this beautiful veining going through these rocks.
I don't know if it was a quarry, but I mean the lake is beautiful. It's crystal clear, cold. I mean, we've been out there many times in the summer and it's still cold. You jump in and you're freezing and it feels amazing.
I think it's just because it's so deep.
Maybe.
It's so deep that water just
Let me see if it was.
It stays cool. And then you said y'all went to some, what was it, putt?
Yeah, so after we did the kayaking, we went back to the house, made some sandwiches and stuff just to kind of feed everybody. And then there was a place that just opened up. It's called Pickle, Putt, and Pour. So it's like a pickleball area. Supposedly they're going to have a putt zone and then a bar, obviously.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, we got there and it was not any putt. They didn't have it yet. But they had pickleball courts set up. I think they had 3 courts. Very nice courts too. And then they had like a playground area for kids with like a gaga ball area, which I don't even really know what that means, but the little kids knew what that was. But and then they had a bar out there where you could order drinks and stuff. And it was a young couple that was running it, and they were super nice. And we had a good time. Definitely delivered on my son the win that I told him I was going to do.
On the pickleball?
Man, this kid, He doesn't think that I can do anything, but then I have to remind him that I can. And I smashed him in pickleball, and had to leave that out there a little bit. So maybe he'll grow up one day.
You just get the pickleball paddle and just set it down.
And I know he'll listen. He's my biggest fan because he wants to hate on everything I do too. So I know he'll be listening later, but that's fine. That's fine. He'll grow up one day.
It's tough. We played. We had a happy hour we went to, and this is my first time playing pickleball, and I was a little bit intoxicated. I think all of us were.
Yeah, it was the only way to do it.
But it was still fun, like getting out and just. If you got a competitive bone in your body and you're doing it, you want to win.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
You could hurt yourself. We had one of our fellow friends out there, and she was a horrible teammate.
Yeah, she's not good at anything. I don't care if she's a D1 athlete or not. She's not good at any sports.
Horrible.
And I'll remind her, Kirkland, you're not.
Kirkland is not an athlete.
You're not good.
She was. I had her first, and I think we switched.
No, I just smashed and beat everybody.
No. Didn't we switch partners? Because she was my partner.
I never had a partner.
I thought you had Rachel.
Oh, I did have Rachel.
Yeah, so I think we ended up switching, but we were both unsuccessful with our partners.
Yeah.
They were not athletic, so but which is hilarious because one of them is a D1 athlete.
Yeah, D1 athlete. Either way.
She claims.
I can't seem to find any.
I don't. No records found.
No records of this, but
never found. We looked. So
no, it's a lot of fun. A good buddy of mine, Kevin, he plays a lot now. Apparently, he told me he goes up to the Oasis Club here in Rockwall.
Oh yeah,
and they play pickup games, and he said that they just destroyed him for like 3 hours and 1,200 calories. And Kevin's not a bad player. He's a ping pong player, so I know he knows how to play. So there must be some legit players up there. But I may get brave enough to one day do that. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever have the time.
Well, we've had several doctors tell us that a lot of people they work on are pickleball players, and these people aren't young.
No,
they're like 50s, 60s, and they're out there on that pickleball court. They're wanting to get them ACLs and Achilles tendons fixed so they can get back on the court. So I'm like, it's very competitive.
That's my fear.
If you've got people out there that are wanting to get back on the pickleball court, you go to Oasis and you're in there and you think, oh, this is going to be an easy
We know
one.
people that also have gone like a Ninja Warrior course and torn their Achilles as well.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah. He thought someone kicked him in the back of the Achilles.
Uncle Kenny. But, we'll leave that where it lies, too. We'll leave that where it lies.
We'll have to get him over here to tell the story. He'll tell it probably a different way.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll make it sound more interesting. I was actually in a blood sport. We were fighting to the death, and the guy came with a razor blade behind my Achilles and cut it.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and conclude episode 6 of the Happy Hour Pour. We'll be back next week to talk about a little bit about the Elite 8, and then we'll see if the Final 4
should be going on. Yeah.
Should be going on then, so we'll have a little bit more information on that. Baseball be started.
Yep.
We're going to talk about that.
First reactions, and then the Masters.
Oh my God.
Coming up.
PGA. The Masters. Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Oh, man. It's that time of year.
Oh, yeah. It's golf weather. Well, I don't know if it's too hot.
It would have been golf weather today, but I think it's a little breezy too. So,
but don't forget, like, subscribe, YouTube, anywhere that you listen to your podcast. Go ahead and follow us, download the episodes, listen to them. If you guys have any topics you want us to talk about, any suggestions on drinks, whatnot, you can leave comments on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and even on our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Leave any messages you want. We'll go ahead and read those and go from there and try to integrate those into the episodes that we see kind of where it's relatable to that. So, but thank you guys for joining. We'll go ahead and see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Peace. For today's Happy Hour Playbook, I'm Chris, and we're officially off the clock. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts so you don't miss out on our next slate of picks. Stay sharp, stay hydrated, and we'll see you at the next kickoff.